BSide with a soundscape provided by Jelani Sei. I am Queen Godis, here to help keep things lit. Let's give it up yet again for our newest friends, Jelani Sei. Yay, we made it. It's a new day, another B-side. We are happy to have you here. Let us get into it with some introductions. I would love for you two to introduce these musicians behind you. Tell us anything special or whimsical about them that you feel that you so desire to, and then we'll save your introductions for last. You ready?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So we have, so I'll skip over.
Yeah, skip
and go to Jack Redsecker.
Jack.
On keys.
On keys. Hi, Jack.
And
you can give it up.
Okay. And we have Jaylen Petinaud.
Hey, Jaylen.
Yes, on drums.
Yes, killing it.
And we have Scott White on guitar.
Hi, Scott.
Hey.
You want to tell us anything real quick about them that is unique or fun or funny that we can't tell from looking at them?
I want to say, I think Jaylen's pretty funny.
Jaylen's
funny. I think he's funny, like low key.
Low key.
Mm-hmm. And I think that Scott is like goofy. And like he's like
in the best possible way. Okay.
In the best way. Like it's
you
like,
don't want to say this like before we do the songs, right?
Right.
Okay.
Like he's like almost like a lunchbox, but like in a good way, in the
wow.
best way.
Have you ever heard that before, Scott? Somebody compared you to a lunchbox.
It's a full.
That's
it's a
the
full lunchbox.
best
So
simile
like,
we've heard on this stage.
It has sandwiches. It has apples in it.
Word.
It has carrots.
You are a healthy lunchbox. Okay.
And then Jack, I'm still getting to know Jack. He just came on like a month or two ago.
Okay.
I want to say. Yeah,
so you made it between 30 to 60 days.
3 months?
Not bad.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah.
So,
3 months, 90 days.
Yeah, insurance, the benefits.
Yeah.
We need to get that right. Okay, and last but not least, I would love for you to introduce each other and tell us, so you guys are Jelani Sei, otherwise known as the Black teen superhero musicians, right? That's superhero with a Z. So I would love for you to introduce each other, tell us where each other's from, and then tell us your selected superhero name for the other. We got that?
Okay,
right.
Yes.
Whoever wants to start.
I'll just go first. So over here we have the immaculate, wonderful, limitless Kayana Guity.
Hey, Kayana, from where?
From Boston.
From Boston. The other B-town.
Boston.
Yes. So wait, what was her superhero name? Was wonderful, the immaculate.
Oh.
You don't even remember.
I was gonna leave it at Super K.
Super K. All right. Okay, I feel like we're cheating a little bit, but we're gonna keep it going. Get him back.
Okay. This is Evan Lawrence.
Evan Lawrence. Hi, Evan.
And he's from Jamaica, Queens.
By way of
New York.
By way of.
I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh. I didn't.
But then before that, you're from Trinidad. Is that right?
Oh,
did I hear that? Your parents.
Yeah.
Okay, your father's from Trinidad.
I don't want to clown.
You don't want to.
I'll claim it just when with people in the room like.
Okay, you claim it when it's necessary. And what's his superhero name?
I was thinking about this, and I wanted to have edit in it because when we do like our our music, like he loves to just be like, all right, I'm gonna go edit now. Like he does it.
Well, I feel like we're good with that. Edit Evan or Evan edit, because editing is really a difficult job. It's not for the faint of heart, right? It's almost like you're in a cave.
Yeah.
Do you edit music with a cape by chance?
No.
I
do.
should. All right, we'll save that for another conversation, but marinate on that. So Jelani Sei, speaking of names, Jelani Sei is also kind of a superhero name. I want to take a stab at this and you tell me if I'm correct. So Jelani is a Swahili word which means mighty, great, or powerful. And Sei has a lot of different iterations, but it's a Japanese word which can mean star or sky.
Oh.
You didn't know this?
I know.
I feel like I'm adding to the group.
Like Sei is like spirit. So like,
or spirit.
Like mighty spirit.
I feel like that's in the realm of sky and star. That was close. So mighty spirit. Was that what you were going for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what was the day like when that name popped up for you?
Honestly, like Toro y Moi, or just like, there's mad like two name, I can't curse, there's mad like two name type of bands. So like.
Yeah, I don't think a curse was necessary in that, but
I'm
continue.
ignorant.
It's that Brooklyn. Okay, so you wanted a two-name band.
Yeah, and it was just like just going off like people I look up to, like Flying Lotus, or like Tori Moi, like Toro's bull,
Okay.
Moi is me, and two different languages. Like Jelani Sei was just like, all right, like.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy this one. Like, I don't know that you just stumble upon a name like Jelani Sei, but we'll go with it. We're gonna go into some more music. We're gonna marinate on the more music, and then we're gonna pick your brain a little bit more. I feel like we have some jokes that are definitely gonna spill over onto the stage. Give it up one more time for Jelani Sei. The first song was called Telephone. The next two is called Queens Smells Like Teen Spirit. Jelani Sei.
Wow, that's a funny combination.
It is.
and wandered through my heart and heart. They rummaged in me and ran the night shift of lovers stomping fast. Tackle past me. They beg for your stay, so I can fully sense your embrace underneath me. Petrified day where you would finally end the space, Lord's breathing space.
For those of you who are just tuning in, we are rounding out, or who are tuning in live rather, we are rounding out Black History Month. And it's been such an interesting Black History Month that some people are petitioning for a do-over. So effectively, Black History Month will begin in 24 hours and continue until next March. You've been warned. All right, that said, my first question, segueing right into it, so many interesting things going on. Let's just name drop them really quickly. The indictment of R. Kelly, the fiasco of Jussie Smollett. I don't know what to call it, so I'm not going to call it anything. Probably the 1,977th case of blackface in just 28 days. And some of you may have seen an episode of Comedy Central that happened for 7 hours, I think, yesterday, also known as the Michael Cohen hearings. There were lots of sit-down comedians in the building. So if you could come up with a soundtrack, or maybe just one song, one of your songs or a popular song, that would represent this past February, this Black History Month, what would that song be?
It goes like, it's like, ba-na, ba-na. It's just one of those days where you just, where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. Everybody, I don't really know why, but I want to justify. No human contact.
Whose song is this?
It's Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like you just took no time with that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole time, I was like, come on.
Yeah, the only thing you've done faster is like come up with the name Jelani Sei. I feel like before we went into the last set of songs, you were trying to convince us that you came up with the group name from like outside of a Cracker Jack box, and we still don't believe it. But we're gonna still leave that alone. The first song that we heard opening the show is called Telephone, and for those of you who were paying attention, you saw these lovely things that people used to call them telephones back in the day. When was the last time you actually used a phone that had a receiver, buttons, and a wire attached to it? When was the last time that happened?
Like maybe, no, no. 13 years ago?
13 years ago. Okay, so when you were writing the song Telephone, were you reminiscing over that kind of phone, or like does it come from, you know, this Android, iPhone type situation, and what is that song about?
Well, when we first started recording it, the demo version was with a telephone vocal, it's called, on like Logic.
Yeah.
And
a plugin.
Yeah, the plugin, right.
Shout out
and
Logic, shout out.
Right. Shout out Logic. Nah. But yeah, I took it from that at first, and then I thought it would be like an extra layer if like, so it's about gentrification, or it's just about like something like unwanted moving into your space or being in your personal space. Like maybe it could be a pain or like a sickness or anything like that. And I use telephone because it's like, right now with the gentrification, it's just like all the white people are like whispering in each other's ear, like, move to Brooklyn. Move to Brooklyn. And it's like
But by the time the way the
like,
telephone works though is like everybody's repeating something to each other.
Right,
but by the time, so what is okay? So say gentrification was playing the game of telephone. What would the end result be? What would
like the end result is like, so at the end of the song I say like, I'm not having it.
Yeah.
I black out, call it quits. So like by the end of the song it should be like, nah, people are getting kicked out of their homes. Nah, like, you know, like people are like,
son. We
right,
could just
like,
make it simple like that.
Right.
So I think this is really brilliant, actually, that if gentrification, which is a well-known pastime in Brooklyn, was playing the game of telephone, it would start out by saying, everybody move to Brooklyn. But by the time you get to the 1,000th person, it sounds like, nah, son. How awesome is that? Give him a round of applause, but that's genius. That's genius. I think that you should make a T-shirt that says that, gentrification in the front, nah, son in the back. Let's keep going. Well, speaking of gentrification, I want to give you a two-part statement to fill in the blank. I would love for you, Kayana, to finish the sentence, Brooklyn is, and then I'll move to you, Evan, with yours. You ready? Brooklyn is.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
I feel hurt.
I'm sorry.
I feel like we set that up a lot better. We had this bond over gentrification. I felt like we were going somewhere with it, and then she just hit us with the okay. Wow. Moving right along. Evan, I'd like for you to finish this sentence. I have an uncanny resemblance to.
Me? Chance the Rapper.
Absolutely not. No. I feel like it's in the same region, but you just.
Childish Gambino.
Okay, stop talking into this microphone,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. I keep forgetting.
He's very amped to be here. I feel like I want to finish this for you because you're struggling with it. But you want to try one more time? I have an uncanny resemblance to ...
Eric Andre. Oh, Brooklyn.
No.
All right, Eric Andre.
Lupe Fiasco. Has no one ever told you this before?
People tell me that, but it's either him or Donald Glover or
Definitely not
Chance the Rapper.
Definitely not Chance the Rapper.
Eric Andre.
They're all wrong, and I'm correct. It's Lupe Fiasco. You could be his younger brother or his cousin. Moving right along. The last two songs that we just heard was a mashup, which was really a wonderful mashup because the two song titles actually sound like a complete sentence. Queens was the name of the first song, and the second song was Smells Like Teen Spirit. Tell us about it. So, Evan, you are born in Brooklyn, so you said.
Yeah.
I think that was just for street cred, but we'll investigate
Kings
that.
County,
In
bruh.
Kings County? Okay, you know the keyword. Okay, he's telling the truth. Born in Kings County, but raised in Queens.
Yeah.
And then, so is this first song, Queens, is that something you contributed to the group based on your experience growing up there?
It's not, it doesn't really have to do with anything with like a location. The song is really more about like looking into yourself and like figuring out like why I keep messing up, like why do I keep like, or just like trying not to repeat family generational like traumas and things like that. And then recognizing how it like messes with your relationships that are happening now. And it's like, oh my God, I'm doing the same thing that my grandfather did. Okay. So it's kind of about my grandfather because he was cheating. And wow, now.
Okay, we won't put Granddaddy's business out there. We do want to say to the people watching at home, please do right. Don't do like a Rolling Stone Granddaddy if he was a Rolling Stone. And the second song was called Smells Like Teen Spirit. Yeah, I don't want to ask any questions about that. Let's go into the next song. I feel like we're having a good time here, right? You got any jokes for us? After this song, we want you to tell us a joke. Give it up for Jelani Sei. The next song is called Ooh.
Focus on me, running around downtown, connecting pieces slowly. Tell me now, tell me how I can have you on my back, baby, on my back.
Slip on it right now, do you really want? Slow down, response, you don't want to stop. Tell me how I can give you one more chance still, baby, roll me.
Please show me how you feel. Restless on my mind, it's real.
Say my name, let you feel. Turning the table, knocking down. Play my game, let you feel. That goes to the other side. Say my name, let you feel. Turning tables upside down to yourself. How on my mind. Say my name, say my name. Play my game, let you feel me. Step back close to the Lord. Say my name, let you turning tables up and down the
Undecided matter. Let's bring back some method. I can't be just you when we tell me that. Why can't it be just you when we tell me that?
All right. We are here with the illustrious Jelani Sei, by way of Queens, Brooklyn, and Beantown, but I think you guys met up in Hartford, Connecticut. Is that where you met? Connecticut?
Jackie. I mean, a few of us met there. Like, we
Was that a
started-
college situation?
Yeah.
What school were you going to?
University of Hartford.
Yeah, University of Hartford. Since their college connection, they have formed this group, and the group has been labeled as alt rock, indie rock, progressive R&B, my favorite, ebonics as in electrobonics, which I think is really awesome. That's the first time I've heard of that. Maybe brand that right away. Electrobonics, I'm not gonna explain that for those of you at home who are scratching your head. I feel like that's just for the wise ones amongst us. And the future soul, which is great conversation because a lot of times on this stage we're talking about what is soul music in 21st century. What does it sound like? And people have had a difficult time describing it, but since I think the past 5 years, there's been a whole new slew of artists that are kind of leading the way under the umbrella of the future of soul. I want you to finish these two statements. We're gonna do that game again. You ready? And in the meantime, I'm gonna give the drummer some time to work on his joke. I would love for you to finish the sentence, and you can decide amongst yourselves who takes which.
Okay.
The future of soul is, and the future of the country is. If you don't choose quickly, I will assign.
Yeah, you can assign. It's fine.
Okay, I would love for you to take the future of the country is, and you take the future of soul is. Cool?
Okay. The future of soul is anger and just openness. I feel like, yeah, people are getting more open about how they feel about certain things. Like, there's more topics that people haven't talked about before, at least in the realms of like soul music, and like just that genre breaking down, like just breaking all those walls down, like melding like punk and soul. Like there's so many like iterations of different types of soul music, and it's a shame honestly that like the mainstream version of it is still doesn't try to deviate too much from either that or like the pop hip hop side of it.
Got it. I think that's a great answer. Is what you said, anger and openness.
Yeah.
And the future of the country might be the same answer actually.
Right. I was like, anger and openness,
yeah,
damn. Because especially like in the culture that we're in, like this DIY culture, a lot of angers, a lot of, I don't want to say openness either. I just want to be like, just emotions, whether it's like sad, happy, like any type of emotions, like that's the future of this country.
Any type of emotions.
Yeah,
is the
like just
future. All of it.
emotional everything. That's
So
the future.
I think that puts us back at anger and open.
Yeah, like literally.
Good job on that. Okay, I think that gave the drummer a little bit of time. First of all, we want to give a shout out to your Dragon Ball Z shirt, which is a great segue because we're going to come back after the next song and talk about the influence of anime on the music that you're doing, which is a theme that actually has come up on this stage quite a few times with other artists, so that's great. And you would like to tell us a joke. So he's part drummer, part awesome vocalist in the background. That always tickles me when the drummer just does an awesome riff out of nowhere. That's so good job. And your joke is?
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
What do you call a deer with no eyes? I feel like I want to get deep on this. I don't know. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No
I did. Yeah, why did I? What is happening to me? Let's go to the next song. The next song is called Divinity. Give it up for Jelani Sei. Give it up for the drummer.
I just wanna wake up in here on my
awesome group, Jelani Sei, who is really interesting to watch because I think if you check them out on Bandcamp, on Facebook, and on Instagram, you will start to see how the band is branding themselves over time, which is not necessarily always an easy thing. Sometimes it's easy because it's gimmicky for some bands, but I don't get that you guys are too thoughtful to be just gimmicky. If we could, I've never done this before, but can we pull up the last image for the song that we just listened to, which was called Divinity? Can we put that back up on the screen? Thank you. All right, so one of the images that I noticed pops up a lot when Jelani Sei is in the scene is this Adinkra symbol, which is an African symbol, which means knot of reconciliation. And the band seems to really be really thoughtful and mindful about the concepts that you're reconciling in your work. You are the most melodic mosh pit that this is the most melodic mosh pit that you'll ever find. Get kind of those two worlds reconciled. You bring together the worlds of anime, cartoon, lightheartedness, but also with some really deep themes that are reconciled. Within anime, the genre itself reconciles some really deep themes, and then you kind of do your own level of reconciliation with those concepts in your work. We're hearing tracks from a series of your projects. Most recent is Lavender Town, which is a name which comes from Pokemon cartoon, also known as Pocket Monsters. And Lavender Town is the place where Pocket Monsters go to die.
Yeah.
Tell us about you. I think the audience just had a sigh of sadness. They never thought about it that way, where the monsters go to die. But, you know, we have a lot of monsters in the world right now, and maybe there needs to be a place where those monstrous issues go to die. Tell us about what your thoughts were about that.
Just with like the whole symbolism, like I'm really happy you picked up on that. I didn't know how to say it for a while, so I just never said it out loud. But I'm really happy you picked up on that. Just really, it's just about like, supposed to be like the state of America, kind of. There's like hospitals right there, and a bunch of dead people. So what does that tell you? Like, it's not working.
So this is your interpretation of Lavender Town?
Yeah, like on a really base level thing. It's just supposed to be like a kind of a, what's the word, metaphor?
Yeah.
A metaphor for the state of the world that we're in, and just the fact that like it all comes to one point, and it's either like do or die. Like we get better or we're gone.
And that is a good note to segue into the next song. We get better or we're gone. We move forward or we do what the next song suggests, which is reverse. Give it up for Jelani Sei one more time.
Your sense of self, reaching out for help but no one answers. Oh no, oh no. Say to those who
tons of music, quite a few videos, and very thoughtful lyrics are available online. We're going to end with a game, a quote, and you're going to finish the statement. This year has been incredibly difficult for a majority of us. There's way too much uncertainty in the world, and we've been stuck in a constant juxtaposition of two binaries, steadily trying to break each other. Evan, finish the statement. But music
helps a lot and a little.
And a little. And Kayana finished the statement. We are steadily trying to break each other, but Auntie Maxine Waters.
Auntie Maxine Waters, she holds people accountable.
She holds us accountable, and you're going to hear that song next. Give it up for Jelani Sei one more time. That's our time. Go home and do your homework. For a band that's admittedly so focused on capturing nostalgia, your music has definitely helped us to push some hot topics forward, complete with a fresh take on current politics, injustice, and the future of soul. Thank you so much, Jelani Sei, all of you, for sharing your voice, views, and deep grooves with us tonight. We wish you all so much love and so much light. If this episode got y'all hype and you want more BSide vibes, you can check out this and past shows on our YouTube channel, peep our podcast on SoundCloud, or visit us soon as the coolest new members of our live audience crew. I am Queen Godis, honored to be your host in the borough with the absolute most flavor forever. We love you, Brooklyn, and y'all. Till next time.
Stolen from us, stolen.